years?
Well, not quite that severe.
Right.
But I personally have, my entire life, I've had difficulty taking the leap of faith.
Right.
That seems to come so easily for most other Christians.
Right.
And that's something that I've struggled with my entire life. I consider myself right now to be a secular humanist, not necessarily a Christian. And I often am envious of how easily so many other people are able to take that and adopt it as their faith. And I've not been able to make that jump. And Neelix went through a similar journey in this episode, and I'm just curious to know whether you as an actor had a connection to that episode.
Yeah, I had a big connection to that episode. A very big connection. He did indeed find out that there was nothing after life, and all his religious beliefs or so were negated. It's a very complicated topic. But I think what was great about the show was that Neelix, thanks to the Chakotay, came to a conclusion which was Christian existentialist, I think, in a way. Which was, yes, there is no afterlife as far as I can see, and maybe there may not be, in fact, any God. But what I'm going to choose to do is to do the right thing and to be kind and live here anyway, and to the best of my ability, try to make what time I have on earth matter. And just try to do the right thing. And he decides that that's worth it alone. And virtue is its own reward. And he continues to move on. And I really applauded that. It's a very existential way to be. I related to that. I myself was an atheist for many, many years. I was raised in a very strict religious background that was abusive physically. So I rejected religion outright as soon as I was able to. And I would have nothing to do with anything to do with God or anything like that. And stayed that way for quite a long time. It was only recently that I began to open myself to the possibility of spirituality in my life. I still have nothing to do with religion. I think religion is the politics of faith, and it doesn't have anything to do with who I believe in. I often feel that the Quran and the Bible can be instruments of mass destruction in their own way. I seem to see so many wars and killings going on because of those very texts. My little dog, who I had for 15 years, passed away in November, and we put him down in our home. And when his little body was lying there next to me after he passed away, I was looking at him, and up to that point I said, well, you know, I can believe in the nothingness of God, and I can believe in the nothingness of afterlife, but I can't believe in the nothingness of this little creature who I love so much. And that opened me up right then and there to the possibility that there's something greater than myself, because I couldn't believe that his little spirit wasn't somewhere. And so I began. I'm a recovering alcoholic, 23 years in AA, so I have to define, you know, who my higher power is over those years. And I would never say it was God, because I don't believe in God. But since I had that kind of experience, and recently I was in the hospital. I had a severe problem I had. I had surgery for. I'm fine right now, but I remember thinking, my God, this is it. I'm going to meet the Reaper. And what comes after this? There's only two possibilities, yes or no. And we don't know because nobody's ever told us. I was pretty scared, you know. It's actually only about 3 weeks ago. And after the surgery, things seemed to be okay. But I remember waking up. I don't know if any of you've had surgery, anybody's had surgery. You know what it's like. You actually get quite depressed after surgery. And I was sitting in the room, and I was feeling pretty scared and lonely. And it was about 4 in the morning, and this woman walked in the room. And she was about 70 years old. She had long white hair. She was actually a beautiful lady. And I'd never seen her before. I'd never seen her in the hospital. And she came in and she said, "Oh, you look scared and you look lonely." And I said, "I am." And she said, "Well, you will be in my prayers then forever." And then she left. I never saw her again. I thought, God, it was like an angel had come in or something like that. But I don't think like that. It occurred to me that, well, somebody could think that, but I won't, because I'm more practical. But I would have never thought that if I hadn't been opened up earlier to the possibility of spirituality. So now I don't know, I too haven't made that. My sisters are Christians, I haven't made that leap. I can't make that leap. All I can do is entertain the possibility that there is some great spirit that's benevolent, I hope. But regardless of that fact, I'm going to try to be as kind as I can in my life, to the best of my ability, because the only reason we're here is, I think, to be sweet to each other. You know, anytime you see anybody who needs something, that's an opportunity to do something quote-unquote godlike, you know, or what Jesus would have done, or Buddha, or any avatar. So I've changed over the years. But at the time that Mortal Coil was done, I was still very much an atheist, but I still really applauded Neelix's, and Star Trek, the writers, to say, listen, okay, there's nothing after this, but that doesn't mean we have to be shits, you know?
Okay, this is not nearly as spiritual or religious or anything. This is totally dorky. Neelix had very little culinary prowess in Voyager. I was just wondering if your culinary skills are a little bit more sophisticated, maybe?
No, I'm a little better than Neelix, but not a whole lot. I don't make a lot of food. My wife does all the cooking. She likes to, but no, I couldn't really. I can fry an egg, you know. The prop people cooked all that food. Yeah, he totally lied to the captain about his culinary. I made Lola root stew, and that was it. There's 2 times in the entire 185 episodes I did where I get complimented on my food. Twice.
You get coffee.
What?
Coffee?
The coffee's one of them.
Yeah.
And the other time is, well, actually there's 3, because once Ensign Kim asks for a second helping, and Paris turns to him like he's a complete moron. And he asked for a second helping. And then the other time is, it was in a movie. I don't usually remember the titles of the show, but I remember the title of this because I was complimenting my food. It was Fair Trade. And I was facing these intergalactic drug dealers, and I was going down there and I was going to battle for my life, and there was probably a good chance I might not come out of it alive. And I was terrified, and I went to see Tom Paris, for advice. And I went in, we had a scene in the science lab, which was not used often in those 7 years. I remember it was a standing set, it was right next to engineering, but you hardly ever did anything in the science lab. This scene was in the science lab. That's why I remember it. And he said, oh, you just got to tell the truth, whatever advice he gave me. And as I was leaving, he turned, by the way, those Andorian sweet roots were terrific this morning. And even in the midst of all this turmoil in his life, Neelix is like, whoa. He watched this thing, there's a glint in his eye. I like my Andorian sweet roots, jeez. You know, that's the 2nd or 3rd time he was complimented for his food. You know. But, you know, Neelix, you know, he was in the kitchen, he tried to do, he has a lot of detractors, Neelix. You know, I read the internet, I know not everybody likes the dude. A lot of people detest him, but he was not your typical Star Trek guy. He was very emotional. He wore his heart on his sleeve. He was very spontaneous. He was not, you know, your basic military, everything by protocol and, you know, strict. He was a different kind of character for Star Trek, and a lot of people were not either ready for that or didn't want it, you know. But I played it the way they wrote it and the way I saw it, you know. And, you know, if you didn't like it, screw you. You know?